Alright, I'm gonna go over our water system we have here at the house. So you can see, I got this little ladder here. Gets me access to the top of the shed where I have my Tanako or my cistern. That one's 450 liters. And then from that Tanako, we lead to this main 1/2-inch PVC tube. And this is what leads into the house. And that's what we get for our kitchen sink for washing dishes and whatnot. One of these black hoses is what leads from my midway Tanako, which is 1,100 liters, and then up into this Tanako. The other one is just another hose we have right there that we use for generic uses, just to fill up jugs and whatnot for when we're washing clothes or watering plants, things like that. All right, so let's go down to where I got my midway Tanako. And right now I did do some maintenance on one of my tubes. I was having issues with air getting in that 1/2-inch tube going to the house, so I was getting really low water pressure. So I installed a little valve onto it where I can hopefully get some of that air out. So in order to do that, I had to empty out the Tanako. So now that it's all empty, I'm gonna go through the process of filling it up. So here we go, heading on down. You can see I made these handy dandy little stairs, but it's still pretty steep. But this part, the mid Tanako, is really not that bad, which is why I really like that this one's 1,100 liters. So with this Tanako, I can fill our upper Tanako 2 times. So I'm coming here more frequently than I have to go all the way down to the creek. So I will be going down to the creek today because I'm going to use the last little bit. We're about here right now. So today I will be going all the way down to the creek to fill this up. But I'm going to do a little changing of my system here today. I'm going to be editing my exit tube here. This I was mainly using as just a plug right now, but I'm going to remove that, add this valve here, so that I can get my suction to my gas pump directly from the bottom. Because right now what I'm doing is I'm just using this 1-inch tube here to connect to my pump, but then I'm putting this tube into the top. And since this tube has some memory to it, it's got this little curl, and it doesn't want to end up at the bottom all the way, so I end up sucking air sometimes. So I think by attaching this valve, I can just keep this hose connected to that outlet to my pump, and that'll remedy that problem. I won't have to deal with that. I'm gonna go through the process of filling my upper Tanako. So let me open this guy up. Looks like right now, yep, just about halfway. So I start out, I always got this handy dandy little wrench. Let's make sure, get this oriented properly. Here's the outlet. So just loosen my little band here. Pop the outlet tube on. Tighten her down. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. It's nice and snug. I don't want to break this band. I do have some extras just in case, but I like to take it easy on things. Okay, here's the inlet tube. This one always seems to be a bit harder. I wish I had like a little torch or something. I could melt this a bit and change its form. This one I always have to kind of fight to get on. Okay, that should probably be enough. Okay, come on. Here we go. Let's get it right there. Tighten her down. Okay. Alright, we'll see how that does. Make sure these guys are snug. Alright. Now I'm going to put this curly Q end into the Tanako. And yeah, like I said, it's just not going in all the way, so this will be the last time I'll have to deal with this. Alright, so fill her up with some gas. This pump is, I want to say, 1.3 horsepower, and the gas tank is only 0.7 liters. So to fill the 1,100, it's a little less than a full tank. And then to fill our 450, it's about half a tank. So works out pretty nicely. This thing's pretty efficient. Here we go. Just a little topper off. Shut her down. Okay. Now something really important before starting this up is I want to make sure that I prime the pump. So that means that I'll flood the system with some water. So I just keep this jug down here full of water just for this purpose. I'll just top her off until that hole is full, because if I pump it without water, I can actually damage the pump, burn out the motor. So here we go. Topped off. Just a little bit more. There we go. Now, close this up. Okay, put on the choke and just wait for it to burp the first time. Alright, sounds good. Let her rip. Alright, so here we are again, up at the 450 liter tank. Climb up my little ladder here. And as you can hear, she's filling up nicely. There we go. So it just takes about 20 minutes or so to fill this up. But I am gonna go down and monitor our mid station just to watch for that tube that's going into the Tinaco, because like I said, I don't want it sucking air because I could burn out the motor, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it. So here's inside. Not sure if you can see very well, but there's that end of that tube, and so I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, make sure that it doesn't get too low. I'll probably even push it down a little more just to make sure I can get as much out of this as possible. Alright, so I've pretty much drained this mid Tinaco all the way out. You can see we still got a little bit of a trickle left. But what I'm going to do now is I've removed the plug that I had on here, and now I'm going to attach this 1-inch valve with a 1-inch hose adapter onto the end of it, and that way I can connect my hose that goes to my pump directly to the bottom here. So all I have to do is just open the valve, prime my pump, and let her rip, and then it'll just take all the suction directly from the bottom of the Tinaco here. Because yeah, what I was having to do before was basically just camp on that hose and keep it pressed down once it started getting low, just because of this curly cue it's got going on. It would start suctioning water or air, and that just wasn't a good thing. So I'm gonna install this, and this should make my life so much easier. So first I'm gonna put on some Teflon tape. And when you're doing this, you want to put it on the direction so that it actually tightens the tape down rather than loosening it up. So let's see, righty-tighty. I'm going to be twisting it this way. So if I wrap here, all right, good deal. I get this right about 80% of the time, but it's improving each more. Nope. Okay, there we go. I'll just put a nice healthy amount Teflon tape on here so we don't get any leaks. Here we go. It seems like these threads are somewhat conical, so it's basically just set up for whatever type of attachment you're gonna put on here. So whether it's 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, I don't know about 2 inch. It looks like it'll take all of those. All right, Teflon tape's on. So I did actually dig out this little hole here, as you can see, just so I could screw this on before the dirt was about right under here, which was kind of a nuisance. All right, so let's see how this works. Yeah, all right, good deal. So that is exactly 1 inch right there. So it looks like 1 inch is our max. I'm gonna go with that. All right, so open it, let her flow, close it. That's open. Okay, close. All right, so I did throw on one of my tighteners here, and with this hose, it's really rigid. So what I did is I kind of cut a little 45-degree angle here, and that actually helps it to get on. We'll see how that works. I'm gonna leave it the length I have because it looks like it gives me some room to play with, and it does feed into my pump at a good angle. So I'm gonna leave it like so. Let's see. Hopefully this isn't too hard to get on. Oh, come on. Unfortunately it is. Okay, so this is where I was talking about earlier. It'd be really nice to have just a little blowtorch. But in this case, I'm just gonna use my Bic lighter. Warm this up a bit, soften that plastic. And in the past, this seemed to help out a little bit. It's soft enough that I can get it on to begin with, and then it does kind of harden and it'll just stay there. So the nice thing with this setup is I'm just gonna leave this hose on there and I don't have to be moving it around. The way I had it set up in these trees when I wasn't using it was kind of stretched out as much as I could, just to kind of keep it from wanting to keep that memory where it was coiling up and giving me problems. So I'm actually really happy about this solution, so I just don't have to deal with that anymore. All right, let's see if that helped. Please. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, looks like it did the trick. Okay, let's see, got my wrench. Loosen this up a little bit. All right, yeah, this is gonna be fantastic. Here we go, get on there. I like that. Just gonna get this out of my way. And tighten, 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 tighten. And I'm just gonna tighten this one down real nice since I'm not gonna be touching it. Hopefully. We'll see. It doesn't feel super tight right here. So I don't love that. Hopefully that doesn't give me any problems. Alright, so what happened is I had tightened everything down and I had my valve open. So once I got this tightened all the way down, this smaller portion was preventing me from being able to close the valve. It was actually entering into the system where it shuts off. So can't have that, so I'm gonna take my little Sawzall here and I'm just gonna cut off the smaller end. So I shouldn't need that any time in the future. And if so, I do have an extra one of these, I don't know, nipples here, nail pieces to put on if need be, but I don't see that in the near future at all. So let it rip. All right, nice and easy. All right, I'm gonna throw on some more Teflon tape, tighten everything down. We should be good. Which way was that again? Yes. Hey. All right. All right, let's see if that opens. Yeah, like a dream. Sweet. So I'll just tighten my hose down. It ended up just being a lot easier to just tighten it this way because I almost could not get my hose off. I was fighting it a lot since I had warmed it up. So believe it or not, this has been the easier method. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Let's get started. Thread it on right. Down. Oh, thank you. I hate this. Oh, bitch. Okay, looks like we're good. See, it's always something. All right. Okay. All right, so now we're done with that here at our mid station. So last order of business is I'm gonna go down to the creek and get our pumps hooked up once again, and we will fill up our mid station. And what that'll give us is we will have our Tanako up at the house completely full, and this Tanako completely full, which will give me about 2 more times to fill the upper Tanako. So this is gonna be the one time that I go down and fill this, and it'll last me about 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks, depending on our water usage. All right, let's go. Okay, here we are. We finally made it down the hill. You can see that hose heading on up there. It's a ways. So yeah, that's why I have the 2-station system, because my little 1.3 horsepower pump wasn't enough to get it all the way up to the cabin as I was hoping. But this works out. It's really not that bad. I'm not doing it very often, and I'm able to use this smaller 1.3 horsepower pump, which works out because I have to hike up and down with it, and it's pretty light, makes the job much easier. So here's my water source. There's quite a few springs that feed into this creek, and the source of it is a spring about 2 kilometers away. So it comes down, and pretty much directly down from the cabin I found this nice little honey hole here. So it's kind of this natural pocket that's just done from the rock here from erosion. So it worked out nicely. All I really had to do was get in there and dig out a bunch of the sediment. You can see some of it just right there, and some of the debris, leaves, and that was about it. So I did set up this PVC pipe to kind of hold my tube into the creek right in the center, the deepest point, and on the end there is just a filter with some larger holes just to keep large debris from getting sucked up and damaging the pump. So here you can see my 2 hoses, this one going to the creek that'll go to the pump, and then this one going up to the mid Tanako, and of course my jug to help prime the system. So that's basically all there is to it. For now at least. The next project I'm going to be taking on is I'm going to be adding our bathhouse, our shower, and where I'm gonna keep my Nature's Head composting toilet. And I'm gonna have to figure out exactly what I'm doing for all of our tubes. I am gonna install like a solar hot water heater that'll go on the roof. So I'll have a video about all that. So stay in tune. Thanks for checking us out. Adios.